Welcome back to the Young King Cooks and YouTube channel. Today talking a bit of AFL footy. Something that each team should be looking forward to this AFL season. Just a disclaimer, I don't claim to be an expert at AFL. I love watching it, I just say what I say what I think. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Some more unwanted opinions and I'm just going to spout BS to you all. Something that Adelaide supporters should be excited this year is to see the Crouch brothers and Sloan back out there healthy for a whole season. Obviously last year was such a disappointment. I think this year coming in with Sloan and the Crouch boys ready to go, that midfield might be back on top. See if Sam Jacobs can get back in form. A good ruckman looks better when he's got some good midfielders around him. So I think that's exciting times for Adelaide. And they've got Brodie Smith coming back as well. So an injury-free Adelaide, that midfield up and running, could they be back? Who knows? The Lions being all in on their youth. McCluggage, Witherden, Rayner, exciting young team. So I think Brisbane fans should look exciting. Obviously, not nothing silly for Brisbane, but to look, to become a real, a stronger top 10 team that competes week in and week out with the top 6 or so teams in the league. So I think that's exciting for Brisbane to see the youth led by Lockie Neer. For Carlton, I'm looking for their youngsters to take the next step, and led by Cripps. So that young team that's been building over the last few years they looked somewhat competitive at stages through last season. Instead of just, they were competitive, you want that to become wins. And if Carlton can become, a top 14 team, they've got one of the best players in the comp, start putting their progress into wins. Looking for Collingwood to really dominate all season and prove that they're one of the top 3 teams in the competition, if not the best. Essendon supporters should be excited to look forward to, they're an unknown, Essendon. A lot of people are saying top 4. I've heard some people saying not even going to make final. Yeah, I reckon adding Dill Shield, I love Dill Shield. I reckon he's one of the best players in the comp. Devon Smith and Sard, another year. They're 2 of the best flanks on either end of the field going around in the AFL. McGrath, I love McGrath. I don't know, I think that Joey Danaher back. Essendon, it could be a flop or a fall, but that's exciting for Essendon fans because there's definitely a lot of hope there for them to be a strong team. Whether they turn up is different, but there's at least that hope there for Essendon fans that it could be a really, really important and strong year. For Freo, I reckon it'll be, obviously Freo, there's not too much expectation on Freo this year, but to have Fife competing for the Brownlow, obviously is going to be very exciting if he can stay healthy all year. And it's very exciting for them having Jesse Hogan up forward, a new superstar. They haven't really had a forward superstar since Pav. Fife to Hogan, gets me excited just thinking about it. For Geelong, very exciting to see Gary Ablett up forward. For years people have been saying if Gary played forward he'd win the Coleman. Gary played forward he'd win the Coleman. Well, this is his year. Gary's playing forward. Will he win the Coleman? Gold Coast. Now you probably say Gold Coast probably don't have too much. Everyone's saying they're going to be shocking this year. And look, I think they're going to be pretty bad. I still don't think they'll be bottom of the ladder. I don't have Gold Coast bottom of the ladder, which is, probably a shock and probably very dumb to most people, but I don't have them bottom of the ladder. But if you're a Gold Coast fan, get excited, which you don't exist if you're a Gold Coast fan. But if you do exist, Gold Coast fans, Isaac Rankin, absolute superstar. Jack Martin had a good year last year. Him to take another step. To see who, Peter Wright steps up and be, that real solid forward guy with Tom Lynch going out of the side. There's heaps of room for that team to someone to step up and say this is my team now. I've heard a lot of talks about GWS potentially falling off this year. It's not a bad thing getting that pressure off. If you're a GWS fan, get excited about the possibility of just sneaking up on people this year. The last few years you've been really touted as one of the best teams. For Hawthorn, it's a weird one because obviously you lose your Brownlow medalists all year, but getting Chad Wingard's very exciting to see what he can do. The rest of that team, how well they perform, but I reckon the big one for Hawthorn to be excited about is to see if James Sicily can cement himself as an All-Australian this year. If you're a Melbourne fan, after all those years of horror, I think this year is very exciting for Melbourne to see if you are the best team in the AFL. And I reckon that's very exciting for Melbourne fans, going from last year was the first year they made finals in ages to the best team, one of the best teams, fighting to show that they are the best team in the comp. As a North fan, obviously we didn't get Gaff. We wanted Gaff, we didn't get Gaff. But adding Pollock, who's probably a few rungs below Gaff, but that same sort of player, and Aaron Hall. So adding a bit of pace to the team. Last year we were full of hard nuts, but having that pace on the outside, Zeeble going up forward, I think it'll be exciting for North to see if we can just really get the footy moving and play some exciting footy. Take the game on, See if we can really take the step and just take the game on. And really use that outside pace that we've added. For Port, I've gone with the young guys, Rosie, Zerzma, how do you say it? Zerzma, whatever. But in particular, that Zach Butters. He, if you watch the JLT report, you've seen he looks like something special. So the youth of Port, can Rockcliffe step it back up? There's a lot of talent in that Port team. Ollie Wine's the new skipper with Jonas. There's a lot of talent there. It's just the heart of Port Adelaide. So that'll be exciting to see the young guys mixed in with the proven guys. And for Richmond fans, adding Tom Lynch, is that going to widen the gap? Is that going to push off your Collingwoods, your Melbournes, your West Coast, and make Richmond really out there as the best team in the AFL? So is it going to be a year of dominance? For the Saints, for the Saints, I had to see if Dan Hanbury can, get back to that superstar form. The Swans, it's exciting for the Swans fans to see if they're contenders. A lot of people are picking the Swans outside the top 8, and it's exciting time for Sydney to see if they are going to be contenders, or if it is a year where they drop off. I don't think so, but we'll wait and see. West Coast, I think it's an exciting time for West Coast because they won a flag last year, which, being from Victoria, there wasn't a lot of noise about West Coast throughout the year, especially when Nick Nat and Gaff went out. There wasn't much. There was, they're going to get knocked off. There wasn't too much, noise about them. The pressure's off. Can they run wild and play some really exciting footy? I watched the JLT game against Freo, and they were really good to watch. That Jake Petrocelli, I don't know how to say his name, but he was super quick and exciting. So if they add him to that team, I don't know. It's exciting for West Coast coming off the flag. That buzz, go out there. Even if you fail, you won the flag last year, so it's not too bad. But it's exciting to see. If you can just pressure's off, run wild, play some exciting, good West Coast footy. See what happens. The Bulldogs, whether they can get back to the brand of footy they were playing later stages of 2015, 2016, that sort of build up. So they were building up, won the flag, and then really dropped off. So even if the Doggies, I don't have them making the 8. I don't think many people have them making the 8. Just get back to that brand of footy. It doesn't look like many people want to play. It doesn't look like the players want to play for each other, the Dogs at the moment. Bit of a shambles. I really rate Luke Beveridge as a coach. So it'll be, exciting for the Dogs to see if you can just get back to that good brand of footy. Even if you're losing, just get back to that, close games and, taking the game on through the bond. McRae's obviously going to win the footy, Joe Hannison back to his good footy off half-back. Just get that brand of footy back, Not necessarily the best, but just get the brand back. Yeah, there you go. Let me know what you're excited to see from your team. If you think there's something I got wrong, which I probably did. I'm not an expert, as I said. I'm just man with the camera making a video. So let me know what's wrong, what's right. Like the video if you like this. Dislike if you didn't like this. Drop a sub. Plenty of AFL stuff coming throughout the season. Let me know what you think. See you.